The Indiana Fever fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie."
In a game where Caitlin Clark was getting hacked left and right, and the refs did nothing, fans were screaming, "One thing, do something." And Sophie Cunningham, she understood the assignment.
Sheldon going coast to coast, and here's we got another.
In a moment that's already gone viral, Sophie Cunningham didn't just send a message to J.C. Sheldon. She didn't just send a message to the Connecticut Sun. She sent a message to the entire WNBA. Don't mess with Caitlin Clark.
Teams are going to have to think twice about messing with Caitlin Clark again.
And while fans were losing their minds over Caitlin Clark getting hacked with zero consequences, they finally got what they'd been begging for, an enforcer, a protector, someone unafraid to step in and send a message. Out of the chaos of a dumpster fire night of officiating, a star was born. In that single moment, Sophie didn't just defend her teammate. She lit the spark that could change the entire tone of Indiana's season. And yes, it might feel early, but let's be real. Sophie Cunningham just became a household name across the sports world.
They didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this. Two Caitlin Clark teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom.
Wow. The impact is already insane. Within 48 hours, Sophie Cunningham's name is everywhere. Clips going viral. Fans fired up. And the whole vibe has shifted. This isn't just Fever versus the league anymore. This is Caitlin versus the world. And Sophie? She just became the undisputed bodyguard. Here's the crazy part. One single moment could make Sophie millions. No exaggeration. And we're already seeing the signs. Let's break it down. But first, smash that like button. Drop a boxing glove in the comments if you respect Sophie stepping up. And don't forget to subscribe for the biggest WNBA updates.
When they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game. It's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs.
There's no sugarcoating it. The Fever's matchup with the Sun was a new low for the WNBA. Complaints about officiating aren't new. We've heard them for years. Kelsey Plum even broke down in tears recently, admitting she literally prays for it to get better. But what went down against the Sun took it to another level. It's now crystal clear. Caitlin Clark has a target on her back, and the refs? They're not doing a thing about it.
Watch when Caitlin Clark is trying to create some space. It looked like she just got hit in the eye there.
Ooh, and Marina Mabry. I missed that one, Edona.
JCS Sheldon went straight at the face of the league. And in the chaos that followed, Marina Mabry came flying in with a body check that sent Caitlin crashing to the floor. It felt like Dana Evans and Chindi Carter had cloned themselves and re-entered as a tag team. And the replays? They made it crystal clear it was even uglier than it looked live.
This angle is wild, folks. There's the eye gouge. Watch Mabry. Boom! I mean, come on.
JC's swipe wasn't just careless. It was targeted. And Marina? She didn't just bump Caitlin. She launched her. Plays like that in the NBA get whistled instantly. In the W? Apparently, that's just another Tuesday. And here's where it stung even more. Outside of Lexi stepping up in JC's face, there wasn't much pushback from the Fever in the moment. Especially from Stephanie White. Now, credit where it's due, she redeemed herself in the press conference. But in that game, fans were begging for her to channel Bobby Knight and chuck a chair across the floor. And honestly, that would have been iconic. Knight coached Indiana, after all. And for the people running with the Caitlin soft narrative, stop. Just stop.
It made me think if this was LeBron in the NBA, think if this was Steph Curry in the NBA, do you really think that the NBA would be allowing certain players in the NBA to go after LeBron the way that Caitlin was chucked to the ground? Do you think if another player came up, blindsided LeBron, chucked him to the ground after he had just been poked in the eye, that the NBA would be like, oh yeah, technicals, nobody's ejected. Just a common technical foul. That would never happen. It would never happen.
No chance this happens to Steph or LeBron without consequences.
0.
Commentators couldn't believe Marina didn't get tossed for that body check. And here's the wild part. Caitlin Clark matters to the WNBA even more than Steph or LeBron matter to the NBA. That's not some hot take. That's reality. We already saw it when she missed 5 games. The league felt it instantly.
Even as good as that rating was, Caitlin Clark's good for about 1 million extra viewers.
When Caitlin sat out, ratings didn't just dip, they collapsed. Fever games lost over half their viewers. League-wide buzz?
Gone.
You'd think the memo would be obvious. Wrap Caitlin in bubble wrap, protect the star, give her the calls. Instead, nothing. This wasn't just a missed call. It was insane treatment of the most valuable player the league has ever had. A total black eye for the WNBA. And now the floodgates are open. Fans, analysts, even former players ripping into the refs. Because this isn't just about a whistle. It's about league-wide disrespect.
And I mean, when I tell you social media is setting the WNBA on fire right now, not in a good way, that's the understatement.
The Fever were rolling. Up big, cruising, and Caitlin had already delivered the knockout punch with that ice-cold 3 and brutal trash talk straight to the Suns bench. But somehow, it still felt unfinished. The scoreboard said game over, but the tone said otherwise. The win was there, but the statement wasn't. And then, Sophie stepped in.
That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul.
With the game already sealed, Sophie sent J.C. Sheldon to the floor with a foul that carried way more weight than 2 free throws. Then she flashed that taekwondo edge, making it crystal clear. This wasn't business. This was personal. For Fever fans, for WNBA fans, for everyone sick of watching Caitlin Clark get hacked with no whistle, it was cathartic. Finally, the pushback they'd been begging for. But this was bigger than just one play. Sophie wasn't just checking J.C. Sheldon. She was cashing in weeks of cheap shots, ignored calls, and flat-out disrespect. It didn't feel like a foul. It felt like payback.
And I truly think that this was a message that she was sending to the leagues, to the officiating, just like to everybody, because it is, if you are watching any of these games, you are seeing that there is a disparity in the way that it's being officiated, and the Indiana Fever are held to a standard that no other team is held to.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because this goes way beyond one hard foul. What went down against the Sun felt like a turning point, not just for the Fever, but for the entire league. Maybe, just maybe, the WNBA finally takes a long look in the mirror and fixes its officiating problem. But let's be real, what happened to Caitlin Clark wasn't just a missed call. A face swipe, followed by a body check on the league's biggest star with 0 consequences? That wasn't a mistake. That was a step too far.
Again, the league's been...
There are 2 massive outcomes from that game, and both change everything. First, the Caitlin Clark fanbase. These fans have been disrespected for over a year, belittled by the media, dismissed as not real basketball fans, even flat-out insulted, while they were the very ones filling arenas, driving TV ratings, and putting the WNBA on the map. And now, after watching Caitlin take a full swipe to the face and get body checked to the floor with 0 consequences, frustration has boiled over. It's no longer disappointment. It's outrage.
All right, enough is enough. You know, at some point, the line gets crossed too often where something needs to be done and things need to be corrected.
There's a breaking point, and a lot of Caitlin Clark fans are already there. It genuinely feels like the league doesn't even want to succeed with Caitlin Clark. And once fans believe that, everything changes. They stop rooting for the WNBA as a whole, and they start rooting for 2 things only: Caitlin Clark to keep dominating, and the league to completely collapse without her. Because if you're not going to protect her, promote her, or even acknowledge what she's doing for your growth, why would her fans invest in anything else? That's the dangerous dynamic right now. A divided fan base, an isolated superstar, and a league sabotaging its own future.
On life support, and it was never turned a profit, lost $40 million last year. They get handed this beacon of light, and all these players cannot stand her. They're jealous, the players union. It looks like the whole league.
And don't worry, we'll get to Sophie's epic clapback in a minute, because it's priceless. But first, let's look at what's really happening. Entire corners of the fan base are melting down. And I'm not just talking about random trolls online. I mean actual fans who are now calling for Sophie to be banned from the league, for the WNBA to strip Indianapolis of the All-Star game, even for full-on boycotts. It's wild. And it gets even funnier when you zoom out and remember where we were just a few months ago.